Hello and welcome to the Hellenic Odyssey kitchen. Today we're going to be making Almond Paximadia. So let's get started and see the ingredients that you're going to need to make this recipe. For this recipe you will need half a cup of sugar and half a cup of olive oil, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of clove, a pinch of salt and 2 teaspoons of vanilla sugar, 30 ml of brandy, a quarter of a cup of almonds which have been toasted and chopped into small pieces, 250 grams of plain flour with 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a quarter of a cup of orange juice and a quarter of a teaspoon of bicarb soda. The recipe for Almond Paximadia is very simple. It's all basically made in the one bowl. So let's go ahead and start combining our ingredients. I have added the oil and the sugar, all of the spices, the salt and the vanilla sugar, as well as the brandy, and I'm just going to use a whisk to combine the ingredients for a couple of minutes. I then add the quarter of a teaspoon into the orange juice and stir to combine, and it will get a little bit fizzy. Add that to your wet mix. And then we simply add the flour together with the baking powder into the wet mix until we have a soft dough that we can roll out onto our bench surface. I've added the flour and the chopped almonds and I'm going to stir until combined. Take the dough out of the bowl and place it on your workbench so that you can roll it into 2 logs. Place each log on a baking tray lined with baking paper and use a sharp knife to cut 3/4 of the way through each log. Place them in the oven and bake for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden at 180 degrees. The logs are now out of the oven and I will let them rest until they're cool enough to handle so I can cut right through and turn the biscuits on their side and put them into the oven for a second baking. The Paximadia are now ready to go back into the oven for another 25 minutes, but this time at 150 degrees. I've taken the Paximadia out of the oven and they have cooled down and ready to be taste tested. We're wanting the sound of crunch. They are delicious. And there you have it, Almond Paximadia. I hope that you make this recipe using Australian almonds by Orchard Valley.